What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the JP Podcast. The JP Show Podcast. The JP Podcast. It is the JP Podcast, but the correct title is the JP Show Podcast. I'm really excited about today's episode. I'm gonna be doing two movies in one. Um, these two movies that I'm talking about today. But before I get into that, I I was been in a real emotional space lately. Light, love, friendship, family, reflection and these things, and I'm really in a good place in my life. I feel like things are thriving, things are going really, really well for me. And yeah, I was just talking to a friend the other day, and we were just on the phone for like, almost an hour. We were just talking, shooting shit. And he brought up these two movies that we're both a fan of, and I was just like, oh yeah, like that I think that would be good for the pod. So I watched both of them recently, and I want to talk about them today. Um, and part of the reason why I'm talking about both of them is part of the discussion. It's because of part of our discussion that we had on the phone. Like they're like these two really dope movies are like the same movie. So I'm gonna knock it out in one of us. I'm gonna try to anyway. So yeah, the two movies that I'm gonna be talking about are 500 Days of Summer and Don John, both starring one of my favorite actors, um, Joseph Gordon Levitt, JGL, as as he's known, or I don't know. That's just something that I've heard. But Joseph Gordon Levitt and his co-stars in 500 Days of Summer was Zoe Deschanel, and in Don John, the great Scarlett Johansson. Well, both of them are great. Oh, everyone a part of these projects were great. So, just breaking them down, and going back into the discussion me and my friend had, these two these two films tell the same story about what I feel like, most guys, the average guy, we always, yeah, we tend to like be super focused and scud missile on this one girl or guy, don't matter. It doesn't matter, but like it just is that one person where like, oh, this is the one. This is the one. This person is the one. Um and shit just went left in reality. You know what I mean? Like our egos, expectations, and we really put our heart on the table too. And then if shit go left, it's definitely a lesson to be learned. And sometimes we do it more than once. We do it more than once. I just pointed to myself. Where it's just like, this is the one, and then like a few months, sometimes a few years later, you're like, what? And I can only speak from a guy's perspective, and I really understand the movies because I am a guy, I'm straight, and these two love stories are like I could just yeah, I can relate. I can relate. So I'll I'll break it down. These two films, I'll go with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. So they're two different types of characters, but it's a man. This man is one way. This man is the other way. Kind of not on opposite ends of the spectrum. On like I guess on a surface level, yes, but at a core level, no. um, and the same with Zoe Deschanel and Scarlett Johansson's character, Summer in 500 Days of Summer, and and Don John, Barbara Sugarman. You're going to be hearing accents throughout this episode because I'm going to have a lot of fun with this episode, especially talking about these films. Um, but again, I would say in this one, these are two different characters, two different women, two different archetypes. Um, Different even on the surface level and everything. Toxic in their own unique ways. I would say the only, similarity that the two lady characters had were that they were toxic, but in their unique ways. Um, but don't get me wrong, the men are toxic too. We about to get into that. So basically, guy sees girl. This is the girl. This is love at first sight. I'm falling in love. My God, she's beautiful. She's fucking gorgeous. She's fucking beautiful, right? That's Don John. And um, you know these characters, Tom in 500 Days of Summer, John in Don John, and basically they just get so infatuated with this girl. They're like, yo, I gotta have her. We gotta get together. She's gotta be mine. We have to, like, this is my girlfriend. This is the person I want to be with. All this other stuff. And we're watching them on their journey. We're watching them from the early stages, of course. Oh, like just the early stages, just hanging out, liking each other, feeling each other. There's lots of tension. There's lots of emotional tension, sexual tension, intellectual tension. Like all of those things are just really, really awesome, and it's just great. And then we get towards, the comfort and going steady. And again, I'm doing two movies simultaneously right now. Two movies simultaneously down their timelines. And they yeah, things are going all right, you know. Come meet my friends, come meet my family. Um Come stay over at my place. I'll stay over at your place. It's comfortable. I got PJs there. I got a toothbrush there. All that types of stuff, right? And then we're presented with external conflict. We're presented with some sort of crossroads where the two Joseph Gordon Levitt's characters, they're kind of like they're now at being their true selves in a moment of conflict, and they're receiving pushback from the person they are doing. They're basically like falling in love with. Like they're getting all this pushback, and they're confused and trying to understand like what's the problem. I'm just being myself. I don't see why this is an issue. I don't see why you're upset. Um, and then yeah, they're still doing what they have to do to maintain their relationship, maintain keeping their lady counterparts happy, and then let's say the stakes are arisen. In Don John, she found his web search history. I'm gonna get into the details about these movies, but right now we're just doing the similarities. But Scarlett Johansson's character, Barbara Sugarman, finds his web search history, and in 500 Days of Summer, he is pretty much. I think there was a no, yeah. There's like a um. I don't think. Wait, what did the narrator say? Yeah, there's a narrator in 500 Days of Summer, but it wasn't the bar scene because he fights. He gets into a bar fight, and then but that wasn't. That was the first conflict. What was the other conflict? Damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. But either way, the stakes are risen. The stakes are risen, and then the girls end up leaving them and kind of like breaking their heart, and they're all messed up, and you kind of see like they're messed up, but you see them go through this metamorphosis. You know what I'm saying? Like they're yeah, that's why I couldn't put my finger on it because 500 Days of Summer was kind of like all over the place. Like they were counting the days they were together. But um, yeah, like you're seeing these men go through their, I guess, their low point, which is the metamorphosis stage, because they're gonna come out, having to learn something, having have grown, and um, yeah, you reach the end. They don't get back. They in both times in both movies at the end they go back to the girl. They meet up with the girl again. They have a conversation and they kind of confront them about like, yo, this was the issue. The stakes were risen when in 500 Days of Summer. It just hit me. They had broken up, and then he was all messed up, and then they had reconnected, and she invited him to some party, and he had, this was awesome in 500 Days of Summer. There was a split screen of his expectations and the reality. Great filmmaking, because that is literally like what is real life. Like in our heads, especially as guys, we just like, it's gonna go like this. Like this is her apartment. This is her place. I've been here before. It's gonna go like this. Whatever. And it was just two different things. And then he saw the wedding. He saw the wedding band or the engagement ring, and he was messed up, bro. Like he was. I'd have been tight too. And here's the thing. I'm surprised he didn't notice it on the way in, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, going back to they get to the end and they confront these girls and they kind of tell them like, hey, like I don't think that I was that bad, like for you to have treated me or broke my heart the way you did, like and whether there was acceptance, reconciliation or not, we knew that we watched the arc of these two men, these two characters, and I guess they were happy endings. They were happy endings. They were both happy endings in the movie. John was in a unconventional situation, but he was happy. He was happy. You know what I mean? There was someone there to add to his happiness. And Tom, he had elevated. He didn't, he quit his job at a job he didn't want to work at, and he, decided to focus on himself and pursue his career in architecture. And at the time when he's at a job interview, guess who he runs into? The new girl. Guess what her name is? Autumn. How awesome is that? So yeah, Joseph Gordon Levitt. Just two great films. I like him as an actor. Um, he didn't direct 500 Days of Summer, but he did. I believe he did write and direct Don John, which was just as good, and just as good. It was just great. So let's get into the differences. This is the fun part. I'll do 500 Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer, especially the time when it came out. It gave off like, I don't want to say hipster. I don't want to say hipster vibes. Hipster adjacent, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, like just your average white guy in America during this time. And yeah, Zoe Deschanel was just like this, hey, I'm this unique rebel who, you know what I mean? I like Ringo's, my favorite member of the Beatles is Ringo Starr. And, yeah, she was just very open and honest, sometimes blunt. And I think he liked that. I think she kind of didn't fit the I guess not the stereotype of like what I guess a pretty woman is in what we see in like media and stuff, like and in Don John, you know what I mean, like Don John. uh so do you remember the Jersey Shore era? Yeah, typical New Jersey Guido, you know and he had this like he liked his pad, he liked his boys, his car, and his porn. Um, yes, he was a porn addict, and he also, but also he had no problem getting girls. That was the thing. Like, but he and throughout the movie, he's explaining like, yo, like real sex isn't the same thing as porn, and he prefers porn over real sex, which is like a real thing. Like that's not even like amongst just guys. Like that's just like a real thing that happens um in societies these days, especially the access to it now. Are you kidding me? Like this is the highest time porn has been consumed at this rate. Like you know what I mean? And it kind of fucks with people in a sense of like, yo, this is what sex is. And in the movie, he meets Julianne Moore, and she's an older woman, and she doesn't judge him. She accepts him for who he is. She has her own issues going on, but she kind of teaches him to be like, yo, you just gotta, the sex you're watching, the performance that you're watching isn't sex. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why you've been disappointed with every single chick you've ever hooked up with. And even with Scarlett Johansson's character, oh my God, Scarlett Johansson, let me say, okay, great actress. And I judge an actor based on like, yes, you could like do the hero role and you could do the role where like the likable, lovable roles that like the audiences love. But a good actor could fuck if you could play a role where I fucking hate this character, you're a fantastic actor. Let me tell you about Barbara Sugarman. Yo, I don't care. I'm from Brooklyn. I know this type of white woman. I grew up around this type of white woman. I fucking went to school with these type of white women, and I heard their mothers. Their mothers, okay? Barbara Sugarman is toxic as hell. Yo, I liked her being a strong, headstrong woman wasn't the issue. She was manipulative. The first red flag. John, they go out on a date. Everything is cool. They haven't had sex yet. They're making out in front of her apartment. John's like, yo, I'm trying to come in. Da da da. I want you. Like, he's really being vulnerable. Like, because he's really feeling her. You feel me? Like, it's not no like just hookup. He's like, yo, this is the baddest chick. This might be the one. And he's like, yo, I want to come inside. I wanna show you how I'm feeling. And she's like manipulating him. Like, yo, you're gonna. So they're like, first of all, they're making out. The making out turns into dry humping. And in the middle of the dry humping, she's like in his ear, like, "Oh, you're gonna not be in service, and you're gonna go to night school, and you're gonna get a job making six figures." Like she's planting fucking shit in his brain, while he's out of tension, and he trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like, yo, and I'm like, and then when he's like, he comes, she's like, oh my God, babe, oh, I want you so bad, but good night. Bitch, what? What just happened? Cut two. Next scene. Cut two. This dude's doing his laundry, right? This dude is very fucking neat. He's anal. He treats his place with like he has a lot of pride in himself. You know what I mean? And fucking, he's doing the laundry and he's just seeing splotches all over his pants. So not only did that thing happen when you saw it, it's continuously happening. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, and who's to say? I don't know if they're fucking like if she's manipulating him every time, but clearly he's in a space of like that he's not used to. You know what I mean? Like something wrong is happening. And then he's going to night school, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, this chick is in his head. This was the nail in the coffin for me. I'm not gonna get into all the other stuff because it's just him and Barbara. They're going back and forth. He introduces her to her parents. Brie Larson's in it. Brie Larson plays um, Don John's fucking sister, and she has no lines for like the majority of the movie. She's just like little sister on the phone texting. Tony Danza, his crazy fucking Italian father. I love him in this movie. He's just like prototypical New Jersey Italian father. Wife, fucking not wife beater. Tank top, football, Italian mother who just like, oh my god, I'm a like I need my babies to have babies. I'm a grandmother. I look like a grandmother. Why don't I have grandkids? So there's pressure on John, and Bree is like, little sister, quiet, and she just be at the dinner table like, yeah, you hear this bullshit? You hear this dumb shit? I love mom and dad, but this is stupid, and it's stupid. And John be just like, yeah, no, whatever, right? He's the older brother. I get it. Um, and when Barbara came pulled up, oh no, everything was all good, but I think they were talking about Barbara when they had like, ooh, pause. This is important. Barbara finds John. She catches John watching porn. John lies and gets out of it. You know what I mean? Should have never did that. Should have never did that. But she's being super judgmental in the moment. She's being super, you know what I'm saying? All this other stuff. John's doing his thing, whatever the fuck ever. He's going to night school. He meets Julianne Moore. She's, like older, supposed to be like this older, not as hot as Barbara, but who cares? She's like clearly more level-headed, more of a fucking human being than Barbara. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I just can't stand Barbara. And this is why I can't stand Barbara. The nail in the coffin for me, for Barbara Sugarman. John and fucking Barbara, they're like at the grocery store and they're getting things or whatever. And he's like, oh, babe, you need anything else? You want anything else? Da, da, da. And he's being a boyfriend, right? And she was like, no, I'm good. I'm going to just keep looking here. And he was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go grab some Swiffer pads. And she was like, what? Like, she's like, what? Like, what did this dude just say to me? Like, he was like, no, I'm about to go get some Swiffer pads. I need more Swiffer pads for my place so I can mop and, clean the house and stuff. And she's like trying to she's confused. She just cannot believe that this man is cleaning his own house. And she's like, no, babe, I'll get my cleaning lady to clean your house. You don't need to clean your house. And he was like, no, I don't need a cleaning lady. Like, I like to clean my house. I enjoy it. I like to do these things. And she's like, shut up. Don't say that. And he's like, wait, help me understand what's happening. Like, he's now confused because something that he takes pride in, something that's a part of him, right? He likes to do it, is now being like destroyed to appease this woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, and I've been in that position too. Again, I've been these men, so I'm not judging these men at all. Shit, I'm not even judging these. No, I'm judging the shit out of Barbara. Fuck that. Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, why are you tripping? And he's like, why? Yeah, why is she tripping? Me and Don John are in the same. We here. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this shit? And she goes, that's not sexy. You're a man, and no man of mine is going to be cleaning and buying Swiffer pads, right? Like, just coming for his masculinity. Like, coming for that shit. Like, she know what it is to be masculine, number one. Two, why the fuck does it matter? It's not your place. You're not paying for it. You're not doing none of that except staying the fuck over. Like, it is not, like, it's just like, bruh, shut up. Like, that was the nail in the coffin. Like, yo, this woman is a fucking problem, bruh. You gonna flip out at me in the grocery store because I want to buy Swiffer pads? Do you know how awesome Swiffer pads is? This is my fucking place. I got the Swiffer wet jet and the pads over there. I wish somebody told me not to fucking buy some Swiffer pads. Like, I fucking Swiffered the fucking kitchen yesterday. No, we not doing that. You don't get to decide. Like, it's little shit like that. It really be the little shit like that that's just like, no, you gotta fucking get rid of. You gotta flip out it. Like, what if I actually fuck up? What if I actually make a mistake? Or not even that. What if it's something bigger, something that I care about? Bigger than what the hell over some Swiffer pads. Like, seriously. Cut to Barbara Sugarman fucking finds his web search history. This dude, oh my god, yeah. And JGL definitely played into this character, okay? This is like peak Jersey Shore era. And she goes into his computer, violation, why you going through my shit? Fine goes into his web search history and be like, yeah, you on 47 porn sites and you told me you wasn't gonna die. He lied. He wrong for that. He wrong for that. You don't lie. Never lie. Like, no. But excuse me. But she had went into his web search history and he's like confused. He was just like, what do you mean history? Like history? Like she was like, are you serious? Do you not understand that these things I could see what you've been? And he was like really dead, like, oh shit, that's a thing. Why they do that? Like don't do that. Like he's some New Jersey Guido that don't know shit. Like, why you do that, B? Like, wait, what? What? He was like, huh? You can they like the website knows, like the computer knows when you get like websites you've been through? Like what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about history? What are you talking about? Like he was dead confused. Ah, comedy. Um, but she breaks up with him, and he's fucked up. He's low. He's starting fights in the street, punching out car windows, hurts himself, and yeah, he's kind of just in this space. And then Julianne Moore, her character, she's in a fucked up place too, and I think that's what drew them to each other. They were both two people in, I guess, their low points in their lives, and they're just discovering new things about each other, and more so him than her. Um, but yeah, it's a great movie. Give that movie a watch. I didn't really talk that much about 500 Days of Summer. Yeah, 500 Days of Summer was more like cinematically stylized. Like, uh, definitely like I don't consider it. Was it an indie film? I'd say it was. It was all over Sundance and stuff. But yeah, 500 Days of Summer, man. That one, that one I would say is a little bit like because Don John, like, it was relatable to a certain, like, if you were to like put yourself in these guys, like, it was relatable. It was, for me, it was relatable because I've been through the same things, but I don't know. Like the character John is not someone who I am. I would say I'm more similar to Tom Hansen than Don John in that sense, and I feel like most men are. Um, where it's like, we're working jobs. Like John loved his job working in service. Like John was content with where things were. Tom was a bit more not depressed or sad. He was content, but more he wasn't happy with it. You know what I'm saying? Tom was content and he was unhappy because they say in the beginning his belief was the only way he can be happy is if he's in love, if he finds the one and falls in love with him. And yeah, that was his thing in life where like, okay, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get a job, but I'm not going to be happy until I find the one. And when I find them and we're in love, that's the only time I'll be happy. And that's what kind of like, okay, this is the starting point for this character. Um I'm more relatable to Tom because yeah, I could be vulnerable on the pod. Um I believe that at some point. I believe that, true happiness is when you find, you know, uh, your partner, the whole true love thing, the one person in this life that is gonna go on the journey with you. And the reason why I believe that is the same reason why Tom believed it. All these things that he was conditioned to, how he interpret them, how he internalized them. Same with me. All of the movies I've watched, the television I've watched, the books I've read, the media I've just consumed, the music I've consumed. Tom was into music. He believed a lot of things that just like was like, nah, these are just like dramatic stories. And he falls in love with the girl who is the opposite of that. You know, he falls in love with the girl who's the opposite of that, and that that I felt like is the thing that kind of drew them closer, but it was inevitably going to be the reason why they break up. And I feel like that was a journey Tom had to go on to elevate. And that's another thing with me where I felt like I've been in a relationship where I had to go through it, right? I was really so stuck on my beliefs through both of my relationships in some cases, where I had to go through them to elevate. Each one that I've came out of, I've elevated. You know what I mean? I didn't get with them to elevate. That wasn't the goal. My goal was to be with them forever and ever. But it didn't work out that way. So I had to go through my metamorphosis to elevate. Um, and that's really kind of like what I feel like. It's just something that I feel like we all go through in life. I don't know. Again, this is not exclusively for men. Like, absolutely not. Like, I'm sure women go through the same things. I don't know what that experience is like. I'll never know. But yeah, these are just really two great movies that um display a character arc and a metamorphosis of a character or a person on the platform of a love story, which I think is really, really cool. And speaking of which, because I know I talked about The Notebook last episode, I have I am nearing the end. I'm still coming up with the final ending to my love story, my metamorphosis story. For my script, and I think because I didn't know what this pod episode was gonna be, I didn't know what movie I was gonna watch. Um, but being that again, life is gonna life. The universe will present whatever you need in front of you. Not need, but want the thing that you want in front of you if you really want it. And I think these two films are definitely giving me a lot to add to my brainstorm about how I want things to end. Because the other day I was doing some pomodoros with a friend of mine, my best friend, and I really really outlined how I want, because I did the what did I do? I did everything. I did all of the great stuff in Act Two. Then I raised the stakes, and then the stakes ended on a twist. After raising the stakes, I ended that bitch with a twist, and it's a twist that's in front of your face, but you don't see it coming, and it's really awesome. And I really can't wait to bring this screenplay to life whenever that time will be, because I think it's a story that should be told. I think it should be told with, yeah, I think it's a story. It doesn't matter who plays it. Of course, my people, they're going to be black. I really, really want black people to star in these roles because this is a very human thing. And this is a very, like I said, this is for the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm putting the shit out there. Like, sometimes guys, we tend to wander. Yeah, we tend to wander and trying to bring fantasies to life. And it costs us a lot too, just to do that shit. And I really, really, really want to show, like, just really put on display, like, the man that's in that space, which I feel like a lot of us are. It don't even gotta be love. It be career shit. It be friend shit, friend circle shit. It just be like, yo, dude just be in this space where it's just like, oh man, the grass is really greener on the other side. Like, I'm watering the shit out of this grass and ain't nothing come of it. I think I'm gonna just go to the other side, and that really that a lot of men go into those spaces, or they get into their heads, and yeah, man, it really gives them the motivation and the push to take some risks, some really risque risks, sometimes, and yeah, but I still I really think that these types of films, especially like just especially with romance, because I just feel like as a society, we definitely are conditioned in a lot of ways to believe that there's a formula to this like romance and this love shit, and there really isn't. And what's crazy, I feel like we know there isn't, and we still just be going along like it is. You get what I'm saying? Like it's this like herd mentality when it comes down to this shit. Like we really consider the things that we've consumed, um, from media down to our communities and our environments that are around us, and the people we grow up with, or the people that were in our ears all our lives, and even down to today. Like we got we what would my friends think? What would my family think? And this and that, and the optics of things, right? How does this look? This look crazy. Da, da, da. And I'm not saying it's all people, not at all, but a lot of us, I feel like there's a lot of variables when it comes to the matters of the heart and who we choose to give them to. You know, whether it be a romantic relationship, friendship, sometimes even down to like family. Family's a tough one. You know what I mean? But it's uh it's one of those things where I feel like it's inevitable to have to go through certain emotional pain in this lifetime, in everyone's lifetime. Um, and yeah, man, yeah, man, it's one of those. It's one of those. It's just good to see that there are different types of forms of romance, right? Remember, I didn't hate on The Notebook. The Notebook's a good movie. The Notebook is to me, my opinion, is more of fantasy, and the like that's what I mean, consumption in like what we consume to be love, right? And it be a lot of people out here who believe that is the formula to know that this is the person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. Yo, bro, that was a Nicholas Sparks book. No one was real in that book. This was a movie, bro. Nobody was real in this movie, bro. And I'm not saying it wasn't inspired by true shit. I'm not saying that at all. But come on, man. Like, this is like let's like again, like the movie 500 Days of Summer. Expectations, reality. I'm telling you, like, watch that movie, man. 500 Days of Summer was very, very good. Shot very well. Very stylized film. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Where was it? Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Oh, but yeah. I'm writing this film. I'm gonna hopefully I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna be flying back home, flying to New York. This today actually. I have a flight today, and I'm hoping that when I come back, the next pod, I could tell you, um, the screenplay is complete, and I really am just gonna bring you guys on this step by step process that I'm gonna take for this film, and the many other projects that I want to do. But yeah, I'm nearing the end of this one. I'm excited. It's not a coincidence that I'm in this space with my screenplay, but I'm also talking about romance films, or these romance non-romance films that I think are definitely like good for any couple, any relation, not even just any individual to watch, like, yes, the main characters were men, but if you're a woman, you get to see things from a guy's perspective, or you're going through a similar situation as a woman. Um, and yeah, I really think yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, great. Zoe Deschanel, great. Like, she's awesome. Like, how could you hate on her? Scarlett Johansson, awesome, great actress. Yeah, yeah. She made me hate the shit out of that character. Oh my god, I don't like Barbara Sugarman. Never, not even a real person. You killed it, Scarlett. So, yeah, yeah. But this film that I'm writing, Quiet Desperations. I don't know if that's the official title or the final title, but I think it's a great title. It's a sexy title. And there's a lot of sexy shit going on in it. And like I said, fellas, this one's for us. And, you know, I think, but overall, it will be a great watch. And it would be a great film for couples to watch. And again, even though it's for us fellas, there's like a lot for us to learn. And there's a lot that I'm going to put on display. And ladies, you could interpret it however you want. But there's a lot of stuff y'all could learn. So I think, I believe, I know when this time comes to shoot this is gonna be great, and it's gonna kind of like start a conversation and shift things. That's what art does. So yeah, but next week, or I think I don't know if next week is Halloween or not, but I believe it is. But depending on the time, because it's Halloween, I have to do a horror film. I know what film I'm going to talk about. It's the scariest film to me. It's the scariest film of all time to me. It really fucked me up as a kid. I'll never forget it. That episode is going to be hilarious because I'm going to watch the film again. I haven't watched that film since I was a kid because it fucked me up. But I'm going to watch it again for y'all. And it's going to be hilarious. Because either I'm going to be a grown man about it and be on some, what? I can't believe this was scary. What the fuck was wrong with me? Or I'm going to be, that fucking kid again and just be fucked up all over again. And just be scared and just like, just be, yeah, I'm just going to leave the lights on when I'm about to go to sleep and shit. So, but yeah, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. And yeah, peace out, everybody.